I'm ready, guys. Hey all, hey all. How are ya? I'm gonna wait a few more minutes and then we're gonna get started. Oh, I'm ready tonight. I'm ready. Drop. Cheers. Margarita. Okay. I usually try to wait 5 minutes into 7 o'clock before we start, so I don't have to repeat myself if other people come in, although I know I am. So how was y'all day, ladies? Hey, ladies. How was y'all day? Oh, let me put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Hold, please. Okay. How was y'all day today? Everybody good? I hope I ain't got nothing in my tea because I just finished eating. Is it 7:04? One more minute and we're going to get started. Oh my God, I'm already hot. Hold on, get my sweater back how it was. There it is. Looking cute now. Ain't nobody telling me how y'all day was. You definitely know how mine was. Yeah. You never called me back, so I don't know. You were supposed to call me back yesterday. This is so good. I wish I was here to have this. Well, Tara and Sade can actually be here to have this. I went to the liquor store last night. Okay, so 7:05 and we're going to get started. The topic of tonight's show is interracial relationships and how do y'all feel about them? And if your kid brought home anything other than what you identify with, how would it make you feel? I want to unpack it and how it goes from generation to generation and household and trauma and stereotypes and all of that stuff. So I just wanted to give y'all some information that I looked up on Google. It says 15% of new marriages in the United States is made of interracial relationships. Now, we're saying marriages. We're not talking about creeps, boyfriends, girlfriends. So this statistic is not completely right. It's just for marriages. I just want to start by saying, let's start with the stereotypes. Let's start there. So, Dolores said long as hell. Let's start with the stereotypes. So stereotypes that I've heard throughout the years are for men and women. White men have small penises. White women are more submissive. White men are better providers than black men. Black men have large penises. Black women are too sassy and talk a lot and so on and so forth. So the stereotypes for me always sat in the back of my mind until I slept with a white man. Stereotype went out the window. For that particular white man, I don't know about every white man's penis, but I know for a fact that I slept with a white man and his penis wasn't small. I can't talk about white women and being submissive. I know we're very sassy as a woman, but that shouldn't be what our race is judged upon. And now I want to talk about. Hey, Jazz, welcome. And now I want to talk about. You know what? Let's stop there because I want to do it in layers. What's some of the stereotypes that y'all heard that I didn't cover, or you heard, or let's talk about some stereotypes. Can y'all hit me with some stereotypes other than the ones that I just said? Oh my. keep sipping. Everybody grab your drink. You know when I ring that bell, we're going to take a sip. I already took a couple, but y'all go ahead and jump in. Any stereotypes that I didn't cover that y'all want to share? If not, I want to jump right into trauma and how it affects stereotypes. I mean, how it affects interracial relationships. All right. Well, then I want to jump into the next topic. Well, not the next topic, the next bullet. Trauma. I grew up, my grandmother raised me, and based off how I was raised, I wouldn't say she was racist, but she didn't care for white people. Because of her trauma. Because she told me growing up, we grew up in Neptune, New Jersey, growing up that the Ku Klux Klan, KKK, used to walk up and down the street and terrorize the black neighborhoods, and all of the things she went through with coming up. She was born in 1939. So that's what I was familiar with. Not wanting to be around white people, not trusting white people, not wanting to date a white man, not wanting to do anything with anybody of another race. And I believe it stems, well, it's in a lot of people's households. Like, my mother didn't care for white people. My grandmother didn't care for white people. And I'll be damned, my grandfather definitely, welcome. My grandfather definitely didn't, like, my grandfather was born in 1927. And I'm going to get graphic. I'm going to keep it real on my show. My grandfather used to call them crackers, pinkos. Like, he grew up in a time where black people weren't seen. Hell, we still in the same day and age. They killing black people by rapid numbers. So growing up in a household like that, from my grandmother, my grandfather, my mother, like, dating a white man wasn't even, it was out of the question. It wasn't even a topic. Like, we weren't born, my grandmother, my mother, and my grandfather didn't preach hate, but they made it very clear that this race was superior and this race didn't like our race. So I wasn't introduced to, like, white people until, or invited, when you seen where I live, or invited them into my world to either interact with them until I was older, until I was in, like, my late teens and my 20s. Like, the school that I went to in Neptune, it was a mix. It was a melting pot. It was white, as black, it was Indian, but we stuck with our people. We hung with our people. So I think trauma plays a big part on top of stereotypes that makes you not want to go into another race or even try to get to know another race. But as I got older, some of those trauma walls I kind of broke down, because I have friends, I don't want to do the whole cliche where I have white friends, but I actually do. I have white friends, I have Filipino friends, I have Indian friends. Like, I love people. So even though my grandmother, rest in peace, my grandfather, rest in peace, my mother, who's still here, their experiences and their trauma was can I say reflected on me? No, I wouldn't say reflected on me. Were brought upon me because of the things they went through. So between stereotypes and trauma, and upbringing, I really didn't want to. And I feel, well, let me see. I say 90% of me, welcome, one pretty doll, 90% of me is still like, I want a brother. I want a black man. I want a black man in my life. He gonna understand me. He gonna know where I'm coming from. If I say something, he gonna get it. And 10% of me is like, okay, I don't know what God has for me. Is it gonna be a white man? Is it gonna be an Indian? Is it gonna be an Asian? I don't know. But because of the stereotypes and the trauma that trickled down in my upbringing, it's never been like, oh, I'm going, yeah, it's whoever, it's whatever. No, it's a black man for me. That's who I identify with. Do anybody else want to share anything they went through in their household, the traumas that they went through, or their ancestors or their older people in their life been through? You're welcome to share before I jump into the next bullet. Oh, look, I got a new prop. Drink. I got a new prop. Drink. I'm gonna hit the bell later, but let's have a drink. Anybody else want to share something before I jump into the topic? Well, y'all welcome to share when y'all want to share. That's how y'all do. That's how we do anyway. All right. So God's will. This is how I feel. Although I identify and I'm comfortable, you know, with Born and Raheem and Tyrone and the brothers, the black men. If it's in God's will for me to be with anybody else outside my race, then I'm open to it. And I pray about that. Like, let me heal from within and be prepared for whoever you bring to me to be my husband. And I don't know who that is. And had I stayed in that mindset of how I grew up and what was instilled with me with my grandmother, my grandfather, my mother, I would have never even said that. But here's the thing. It's going to be hard. I'm hot. It's going to be hard to bring that person home to my mother, to my family. They're not racist. It's just what we're used to. And sometimes when you introduce new things to people, it's uncomfortable. People want to stay in that comfort zone and that stability. Like, this is what I know. We know everybody in this house look. And the crazy part about it is I have white family members. Like, my uncle married a white woman and created a whole gang of kids who created a whole gang of kids. I love my cousins, no different than I love any other cousins, but it's not what we're comfortable with. And if we're not comfortable with it, it's not something that we welcome. So, like I said, it's within God's will for me. Like, I'm open to anything. I know it's going to be some stares. I know it's always something that's going on, that's going to be going on or said, but I got to live my life for me. And that's how I feel. Okay. Lanice Perdia, well, auntie to me. I understand that. That's how I felt. That's how I was raised. That's exactly what my grandmother instilled in me, my grandfather instilled in me, my mom instilled in me. But I'm trying to do something different with my children. I'm trying to do something like, it's the same as if one of my girls said, Mom, I like women. They have so much outside of the house that they have to go through. Why would I be the one that put it on their shoulders? To each his own. I'm just saying, for me, I want to do something different for my children, whether they're gay, whether they want to date outside the race. I'm going to be that place where they can come and get shelter. I'm going to be the place that they can come and I can talk to. I'm going to be the one that load up, lock up, and go where they at, what they doing, because they came out of me. They came from me. And I don't know what they're going to go through. I know it's going to be cruel when they go outside my doors. So that's just my feelings. Amen. Our home. Yeah, Jay, Cope. I don't want to call y'all by y'all real names because I just don't. I just want to call y'all by y'all names because I don't know if y'all want anybody and what y'all saying to be. So I'm gonna go by y'all names on Instagram. I agree. Jacob, my grandfather, like I said, I'm not ashamed to say it. He came from a different time. He was born in 1927. My grandfather didn't even have a birth certificate and really know if he was born in 1927. So he went through a lot. They went through a lot. And they just weren't for white people at all. And I can understand that. I gotta understand what they went through and all the challenges and the disadvantages of living back then and how people treated us back then. I have to understand that. Let's see. What's positive of my boys? I'm okay with it. Yeah, okay. Mrs. Hicks. Yeah, you said you're almost positive your boys will bring somebody home outside the race and you're okay with it. That's how I feel. Like, I don't want to be the one that they can't come to when the world is fighting them, when they get stares, when they get, this, that, and the other thing. Like, I want to be their comfort and their shelter. I've experienced things on my own outside of my grandmother and my grandfather and my mother. I experienced things on my own. I've had several incidents where I'm in Walmart parking lot. It's just me and my daughter in Freehold, New Jersey. A guy cuts me off in the pickup truck. A white guy cuts me off in the pickup truck. He spins back around into the parking lot, rolls down his window and go, "Fuck you, nigga." I had another guy on Route 9 in Howe. cut me off. And I'm a speed demon, but I guess I wasn't speeding enough because he wanted to cut me off, roll down his window and go like he was going to spit on me. Like the trauma and the stereotypes together as a whole will have you say, nah, I'm going to stick in my race. I know what my race is about. I know who my people are and I'm comfortable and that's where I'm going to stay. So that goes to show you, everybody take a little sip. That goes to show you that being comfortable and stability and being around and being with someone that you're comfortable with and a race you're comfortable with will have you not find what's for you. So that's why I pray on it. Yes, what? Yes, why? Wow, Mrs. Hicks. It's deep. It's just, and like I was saying, like I'm trying to break it down in certain things on why we won't, as a people, as a nation, hell with people, black, white, Indian, Asian, whatever the case may be, why it's probably, well, this is my, I'm not a doctor. I'm only telling you what I feel is the reason why we don't have more interracial marriages. We don't have more interracial couples. And for me, I think it's between stereotypes and trauma. Trauma that actually you maybe have went through, or trauma that your parents and your grandparents went through. And now when they raise you, and that's a house that you live in, is going to affect you as a kid, as a woman, as a whatever. So, like I said, I'm at the 90% time. Like I feel like I would love to be, and I want to be with a black man, and that be my husband. But I also believe in God's will, and I also believe that I have some of the best friends that are white, some of the best friends that are Philippine, some of the best friends that are Indian. I love them. They go hard for me. I can call them right now, haven't talked to them in years, and they'll be like, "Where we at? Where we go? What we doing?" So I do believe in, and I am for being with someone of the same race as me, but 90%, but 10% of me is like, and I might be going towards 20% because it's like, if I'm praying for somebody, if I'm praying for a person that's for me, that's God fearing, that communicates, that loves my children like they own, that blah, 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 you know, that list, then I can't put that's black. I got to say, God, if he's for me, let him be for me completely. And I don't know what that face looked like. I don't know what color or what shade his face looks like. So that's why I'm trying to open up and do things different. And that's where I'm at with it. Where y'all at with it? Oh, I'm sorry. Because you know I'll drink without a bell. Without a bell, with a bell. Let's take a sip. Welcome in, Jay Nicole. I'm sticking to the Instagram names because I don't know if y'all want me to be calling y'all real names. Well, welcome in, Jay Nicole. And we were just talking about, first I started off with stereotypes and why stereotypes affect people dating interracial. And then I started to go into traumas and how I was raised, and my grandmother and my grandfather, and what they experienced being born in 1939 and 1927, and calling white people crackers and pinkles and all of that, and KKK walking up and down the block that they live, tormenting them, affected how I felt about dating outside my race. If you want to share, you're welcome to share. To me, is nothing. Black man. I do too, Jacob. I love black men too. It ain't nothing like a brother. It ain't nothing like a brother. All them different colors. You got the almond, you got the mocha, you got the cocoa. It ain't nothing like a brother. And they just, I can't describe it, but I identify. But again, like I said, I'm trying to be open-minded because I don't know what God has for me. Your heart just needs to be open. Absolutely. Look at Mrs. Hicks. Your heart needs to be open, newly married. What we talking about? What we talking about? Old timers used to say, if they can't use your comb, don't bring them home. If they can't use your comb, don't bring them home. That's what Mrs. Hicks just said. If they can't use your comb, don't bring them home. Yeah, old timers used to say some wild stuff. Old timers are likely to say anything because they've been through so much trauma. That's why I wanted to break it down when I started this topic with stereotypes and traumas, because It's a big reason why people won't date outside their race. And here's the thing. People, your family won't even accept them. And who wants to go through that? Not that we're living for our family, but at the end of the day, you want everybody to be on one accord. And if they're not on one accord, then it's like, okay, I can't go over there because they're going to be staring at me and my man. They're going to be talking. It's uncomfortable. So you want to be comfortable and you want to love who you want to love, but it comes with a lot of layers, a lot of layers. I believe color doesn't control your heart, Jay Nicole said. And I believe that too. I'm all for it. But like Jay Cope said, I feel like it's nothing like a brother. It's not like a brother. And I don't want to keep saying that because I swear to you, I'm so open right now. I done been through the brothers. The brothers ain't right. The brothers don't got their stuff together. The brothers have problems, issues, daddy issues, mommy issues, all kinds of issues that they won't take care of. And here I am, 42 years old, single, been through mad frogs, and still ain't where I want to be. So I keep praying on it. So I can't keep holding on to the brothers. I can't keep holding on to the brothers. I swear to you. So my traumas have actually made me more open to dating outside of my race. Black men have hurt me more than any other race of men. So it made me way more open to looking at white or Hispanic. Amen. Amen. That's how I feel. I can say the same thing. Black men have hurt me more than any race. But here's the thing. I've never been in a relationship with a white man. I've slept with a white man. So I can't say that. I can't say that I will meet a. Here's the thing. I'm always open about my fucking life. So let's talk about it. Met this white guy. What's this? 2021. So what's that? 2019? Yeah, 2019. He was wonderful. Had 2 kids, had a good job. He was a stockbroker, a real estate broker. Was newly divorced, had this beautiful house. We laughed and talked for hours. And I just felt real good about him, like his vibes. He came over for his birthday. I got some drinks. We talked and we did. It was cute. It was warm. It was like, wow, okay, white men, okay, they're okay. No sooner than I gave him the Nikki, I hadn't heard from him no more. And we was rooting for him. And we know who we are because we are on this Instagram live. And we was rooting for him. And I was like, wow, was I a token? Because he was saying that he never had been with a black woman before. He dated some in high school. They didn't go far. They kissed, they hugged, they rubbed, they fondled. And his whole crew was black. Like all his friends was black because he grew up in Patterson. Well, P.S., honey, after he got the nooks, after us dating, he did not call me. So I can't say that a white man or a black man is better, but I know I've only experienced black men and I haven't had any luck with them. So here I am, praying to God and saying, if it's for me, if he's for me. And the first thing I say to God, he has to be God-fearing. He has to know you and love you in order for me. Because if you come to me talking about something, oh, I'm not really in a religion, I'm not into God and all of that, you can miss me with that. Because I need you to be all up and through with the God and the blessings and the lessons and all, I agree. Jacob is saying black men don't protect us like we will protect them. They have to do better. And I agree. I agree. But then let's talk about that. Since we're talking about trauma and we're talking about stereotypes, let's talk about that. Let's talk about why they don't. It stems back to trauma. You got to understand that they took us from our homes, from our lands, and slavery. And then slavery started. They took our women in the kitchen. They took our women in their bedrooms. They had us. They took our women. They took women. Had us breastfeeding their kids. Had the men out in the field, and then they threw us back in the world and said slavery is over. But we were so broken. We were so messed up in the head, emotionally, mentally, and physically, that when we got out here, we started doing things that we weren't. Because remember, we was kings and queens in Africa. And now We out here, no land, no money, no nothing. And now we got to get it for our own self, right? So we've taught in our homes Black men that they're supposed to be providers, but when they threw us back into the land and said that we're free and go get it, they didn't give us nothing, right? So now we're because I've seen it for my own self. My grandmother raised me, and before she married my grandfather, well, my step grandfather, because my grandfather, he was a piece of he's an example of Black men doing Black women wrong, because my grandfather, I'm gonna do the sidebar, my grandfather had 27 children and only 7 of them were my grandmothers. So they threw us back in the land, and then when we finally got to, they started giving us jobs or whatever, we had to work our off, and the woman was home, and you never seen your husband, and you never seen your man, and then they threw drugs in our community, and then once they threw drugs in our community, it was like, the more money I get, the more crack I sell, the stack I get, and I'm gonna get this money. And women didn't really mean nothing, women came a dime a dozen, so they started abusing us and treating us a certain way. And I think it's all because of trauma. Like, we taught men, they taught our men to be providers, but at the same time, it was like, don't show emotion. You a sucker if you cry or show emotion. No, we supposed to provide. We supposed to love, provide. But I'm trying to say that Black men are broken, and they're not gonna seek any counseling, and they're not gonna seek anything. They're gonna say, I can deal with it on my own. So I think it's partially their fault because they don't want to do better for themselves, but I don't think it's all their fault that they treat us the way they treat us. Nor do we have to take it, because we enable them. And I'm raising my hand. I enabled quite a few to treat me the way they did because I kept taking them back. Period. What do we got here? For me, a tribe called Mez said, for me, I wasn't out here looking for a white guy. I just happened to find one who I connected with on so many levels. He is the only white person I brought home. All the others were Black and Spanish. Okay, do you mind if I share? Just, I'm not going deep. Do you mind if I share about that? A tribe called Mez? Um, Okay, One Pretty Dog Closet says, I feel all color of men are the same. You have some good ones and you have some jacked up ones. I agree. I agree. That's why I said I'm opening up my heart to other races besides Black. Like, I just feel that's what it is. A Tribe Called Mez says, I was still worried about bringing him home, even though race was never a issue in my household, even with my grandmother was in the same house. Okay, so she said it was all right that I share. So A Tribe Called Mez is married to a white man, and she has 2 beautiful children, and he's down to earth. He is a brother. Let's just say he is a brother because he grew up around brothers. Like, he grew up in the neighborhood of nothing but brothers, and it's beautiful. I love it. I'm for them. Sometimes I'm not even for her, but I'm for him. And I think it's beautiful. And she's never seen color, and she's always told me, like, oh, I'm an equal opportunist. That's her thing. I'm an equal opportunist, and I just love it. Welcome Dolores 48. Welcome Dolores 48. And I think it's beautiful that she has this blended family. The children are beautiful. I keep encouraging her to have more. And her husband is white, and they're happy, and then there's nothing wrong with that. And that's the reason that I'm saying what I'm saying is, it's time to drink. Hey, Steph, welcome. That's the reason that I'm saying what I'm saying is that um I'm waiting for God's will. I know how I was raised. I know my grandmother, my grandfather, my mother didn't want me. It's me, cuz. Oh, hey, Dolores. Was raised. Oh, I'm hot, y'all. Was raised me as saying, that's a no-go. And I know a couple of people in my family will be like, well, what's what's going on here? She didn't bring a white man home. Well, you better be careful with them kids. You better be this. But it's not even about the color. It's about the person and how they was raised and how they was brought up in their beliefs and what you feel, because our intuition is right on the money, and we do not listen to our intuition as women, and we have to. So I don't really think race plays a part. But I mean, if that's what you was brought up, that's how you was brought up, and that's the way you, and the traumas was put upon you from your elders and the people around you, it's hard to get out of that. And I don't want to be stuck in that stigma where I'm not giving another race another chance. Steph, you're more than welcome to share. Dolores, you're more than welcome to share. If you want to share, we're just talking about stereotypes and traumas regarding interracial relationships. Like, what stereotypes have you heard that may have stopped you and made you think twice about dating outside your race? What traumas have your ancestors, your grandparents, your mother, your brother, you have dealt with white people or Indian or Asian that made you say, I don't want to date anybody else but the people that I identify with, which is Black people? And I was just sharing that I've had white men pull up to me and act like they're spitting on me. I had white men call me a nigga. I've dealt with traumas. I've had my grandmother say that Ku Klux Klan walked up and down the block, and that Ku Klux Klan was in Neptune and Shark River heavy. So my family, though they're not racist, and they never preached hate. We was a Roman Catholic family, and we went to church and we believed in God. Um they never exhibited hate, but it was very clear that we should be with our own kind. It was very clear without saying it, and it was never any hateful words or whatever. But if y'all want to share, for those who just jumped in, y'all welcome to share about maybe stereotypes you heard, or stereotypes that you talked about, or traumas you've been through that'll make you second guess dating outside your race. I'm just reading comments. Ooh, I'm hot. Lord God. Do everybody got a drink? Maybe I should stop drinking. Anybody want to share? I'm sorry, guys. I'm burning up. I'm always burning up every week because I jump right from cooking to getting dressed to beating the face to drinking, and now I'm hot. Okay, let's see. I see a comment. Let's see here. Stephanie Moore says, I never cared about color. Love is love. Stop worrying about what the outside people have to say. They're not paying any bills and not taking care of your children. Amen. Amen. And that's what I was saying. I'm gonna be honest. Like I said, I love a brother. I see a brother and I just melt. You got a little butter pecan, you got a little almond, you got a little mocha, you got a little chocolate, you got a little, it does something to me. Their beards, their swag, their talk. So I said that I'm leaning more towards 20% now, and 80% is I want to be with a brother. But at the same time, I said I'm focusing on God's will. And if I say to God, I want a God-fearing man, I want a man that loves my children as much as I love them. I want a hardworking, motivated, devoted, loyal man that who loves me from inside and out, that's going to ride for me, that's going to be with me, that's going to talk to me with respect, that's going, like, I got to be open-minded to say, God, if this is what I'm asking you, I'm not asking you for a brother. I'm asking you for my husband. So I agree, Steph. I agree. Mrs. Hicks says, I think that's how I ended up here in North Carolina. Not sure much problem with dating outside my race, but my mom and my aunts hated men because they all had failed marriages and they made me never trust any man. Ooh, Mrs. Hicks, we're going to go deep with that one. We're going to go deep with that. I was raised also although my grandmother was married twice and her second husband, which I consider my grandfather, she hated men. I'm no good, nigga. Those no good. All they gonna do is lie. All they gonna do. And now my mom is setting in to be like that too. Like my mom is in her 60s and she does never been married, don't has no desire to be with a man or a husband. And it's deep rooted. It's very, very deep rooted because I don't think anyone takes the time to pray on that hurt and that bitter and that pain. And I don't think anybody, to be honest, Black, and I don't want to throw race in this, but it is what it is. Black people don't seek counseling. Had my grandmother, and I love her to everybody knows I love my grandmother to death. She raised me. I wouldn't say anything bad about her, but had she got counseling and had she seek proper counseling and prayed on it a little bit more, she wouldn't be like that. But she was exactly like that. Those no good. You better watch that. It was just always that conversation. So I agree. Yes, Jacob, I'm hot. It's the drinks, girls, the drinks. I had to get away from Mrs. Hicks is saying I had to get away from them hating ass biddies. Now don't talk about my friends. You know this is my Bikino friends. Don't do that. But I'm glad you got away and I'm glad you got that husband, man. He a good husband. Hey husband. All my friends got these bomb ass husbands. And I know they come with a lot of shit. They men. But all my friends got these bomb ass husbands. I'm so happy for y'all. Now, if only they had some friends and some single friends. I'm so tired of y'all heifers with these men's that don't got no men's. I'm done. I'm done with it. Stephanie Moore says now he does have to be at least 6'2". Now you didn't went too far. We're talking about interracial love. He got to be 6'2". You ain't but 4 nothing, and he need to be 6'2". Well, I mean, here's the thing. I'm 5'4.5". Don't forget that half. And as long as he 5'6", I'm all right with it. If I gotta wear a clog, I won't wear a clog. I'll wear a kitten heel. But see, I'm trying to break down that list. That list is wicked. That list. He gotta have this. He gotta have that. He gotta let this. Like I gotta break down that list, and I gotta let God do His work and do His job because, honey, that list was wicked. I don't have a list anymore. I do have a list. I'm lying. God fearing. God fearing, and I always pray. I've been grateful and I've been blessed outside of my 2 daughter fathers to have 2 men that I dealt with. Y'all know who y'all my friends on here. Y'all know who they are, Brooklyn and Queens. That's how we call them. That were fathers that love my kids like I love my kids, and I didn't have to worry about my kids because that's what I always worried about with girls. You know, I'm gonna keep sidebarring it. You know how I do it. I didn't have to worry about it with them because they had, well, Brooklyn had daughters. Queens didn't have daughters, but I never had to side eye them. And again, it's your intuition and your heart and your gut to say, are they going to touch my daughters? Are they this? I can remember when I started dating Brooklyn. Oh, please. My girls were younger. And I can remember my little one going to run and jump on his lap, and he picked her up and set her to the side, like hanging off his lap. Like, no, 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 you don't sit on my lap like that. And that just made me feel good. Like, okay, I ain't got to worry about them. Plus, I had my cat eye out, my side eye out, and I do my own little investigation. When I start dating somebody and I feel like they're going to be around my kids, I'm on it. I want to know everything. What's going on, Poppy? So I did my own little investigation on both of them, and I've been blessed to have that. So those are like my prayers. Like interracial, I'm throwing that out the door. Like if you any other color and you love me and it's a connection, I'm throwing that out the window. Of course, it's going to be I won't say difficulties. It's going to be obstacles because our cultures have to collide. And I got to get used to their culture and they got to get used to my culture. And it's going to be questions and it's going to be food preferences and so on and so forth. But I do have a list, but my list is way different than what it was when I first started dating and when I first got into this love life. And it's God fearing, love my kids and not want to touch my kids. Dedicated, loyal, honest, trustworthy. Like it's just different. It's just different than what I thought it would be. And I'm happy to say I'm growing. I'm blossoming. Let's see. God. Stephanie Moore saying, God knows I desire tall. That's my non-negotiable. All right, girl. Get your what's the tall man name? Get you a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Go ahead, girl. Go and get you one. But I had to knock that one out. As long as they taller than five. Listen, I'm 5'4.5". If he's 5'5", I'm gonna do just like this. Cause if he's 5'5" and I'm here, it's only just it's a hat. Look, 5'4.5". He here. I just gotta move my head one, just like that. Then we just gonna be short and in love. That's how I feel. Like I want somebody tall, but that's not my thing anymore. Like I'm not like, oh, if he ain't tall, honey, I'm gonna wear these clogs and he gonna look down at me and I'm like, and we gonna keep it moving. But I can also say, they be like, oh, because somebody always got something to say. Oh, she with that little short man. But I'm gonna say, I'm with my short man who's faithful, who loves me, who's God-fearing, who I built something with, who protects me at the drop of the dime, who professes his love, who provides all of that. And I got to do this. I love you, daddy. So I'm just going to go with that. Now you go ahead and get your toy. I'm not judging. I ain't a judgy type of sister. So if that's what you want, I mean, everybody has a preference. And if that's your preference, go ahead. But I just want to let you know in advance. And I know that you're not tall. So I don't know why you reaching for 6'2", because he gonna pick your little self up and sit you on. He gonna do one of these and sit you down. But I'm not judging. Go ahead and have it. I'm hot, yo. I'm hot. It's that drink. It's definitely that drink. And now I done fogged my glasses up. Lord God help me. But wait, I can't read y'all comments because my glasses is foggy. Hold on, I'm coming. Eyes are coming. Oh, we gonna wrap this up on time. Sidebar, because the Keisha Cole and Ashanti is coming on at 8, and we don't want to miss that on Versus. That was a quick plug, Versus. I want my money. A Tribe Called Mez says Kevin Hart shorter than his wife, but his money long. Hey, Shabla. And that ain't even about drinking. That's just about speaking. Yeah, he's shorter. But everybody, let's do a sidebar. Yes, he's shorter. But is it just me? Does that money make him look cuter? Because I'm looking at Kevin Hart, and I ain't never really looked at Kevin Hart, but he got little Balenciagas and his face is moisturized. He's looking kind of good now. But that's a whole nother story. But yeah, Kevin Hart is shorter and his wife is taller, and that money long, and she ain't going nowhere. He could have cheated 10 times. She'd be right there like, I ain't going nowhere, because what do we know that she does? I ain't never known that lady to have a job. I don't know what she do. I don't know their personal life, but I ain't never heard her say, I'm gonna go get I'm a jet setter. I ain't never heard her say none of that. So I don't know what the women do. I ain't judging. I don't do much, but But I just want to get some of y'all some more opinions before we wrap this up, because if we ain't got nothing else to say, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up, because we're not gonna linger. We're gonna get ready for the Keisha Cole and Ashanti. Who y'all voting for tonight? Keisha Cole or Ashanti? Let's talk about it. Ooh, it's getting hot. Jesus. And I still want more. All right, let's get it. Mrs. Hicks is just laughing her little self to death here. Can y'all see my thing back here? 1 o'clock. That's what it said. 1 o'clock. That's what we doing. I see two saying Keisha Cole. Yeah, but y'all gotta understand. I am going with Keisha Cole, absolutely. But y'all do have to understand that y'all better go to that Ashanti's first album, honey, because Ashanti's first album was everything in a bag of chips. Everything in a bag of chips. Y'all remember that album? Baby, 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 baby. Y'all know that album was fire. But okay, we're gonna go with it. But I'm glad y'all stopped, and I'm glad we had this time. Miss Cole. Hey, everybody's saying Cole. And then what? Oh, Mrs. Hicks is saying, then what? She had a lot of hits. She had Ja Rule hits. She had Fat Joe hits. She had hits. Go back to that first album. That first album was a banger, but Keisha Cole, she know about to trust and believe. Keisha Cole said, honey, I was singing that. Honey, that's when I had broke up Sidebar with Brooklyn, honey, and it was trust and believe. Woo, honey, you gonna need me, Dusty. So that's what that. I'm with Keisha Cole. I ain't gonna front on her. baby, 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 and then well, I can't stand Mrs. Hicks. Mrs. Hicks will be banned from here if she keep it up. Back to the topic. Stephanie Moore saying, as long as the communication is great. Oh, I forgot to throw that in. Thank you for throwing that in. Because God fearing, don't want to touch my kids, communication, loyalty and dedication and self-motivated and inspired and all that. I forgot to put communication. Communication is key. So many men are so disconnected, whether it's white, black, Indian, they so disconnected and they so drawn in to not want to communicate and open up. And that's very important to me. I've had men that didn't communicate, and that doesn't work for me anymore. So communication is great. The love and respect, the love and respect is there. We are good. Yeah, absolutely, Steph. I agree. Um, Keisha, now we're talking about Keisha again. A Tribe Called Mez says Keisha got them songs that will get you through the breakup. No, Keisha got them songs that'll make you cry more and then load up. That's what Keisha got. Load up and go right on over there. I'm seeing that She Is Halo jumped in here. I'm praying that this is my cousin Samika and not Halo, because this show is not for kids. Please tell me if this is Tamika or Halo. Collabs. Yeah, Miss Hicks. She do Ashanti has a lot of collabs, but you know what? She was the bomb. Do not front on her. Do not, do not, do not. Ashanti is a feature queen. All right, y'all. One Pretty Doll said Ashanti is a feature queen. Stephanie Moore saying, I agree with you about providing monetary wise and not emotional. Yeah, like it's not Halo. That's all I needed to know, because we go deep. We cussing in here. We doing a lot of things in here. We drinking in here. I did not know it needed to be Halo. I agree with you. Let me switch the couch. I agree with you, Stephanie. And I'm just saying, I did this and I wanted to talk about this because I'm just more open to whatever God has for me. So he could be pink, brown, Haitian, Jamaican, Mexican. I don't know about the Mexican, but I'm just saying, I'm trying to do something a little bit different. Oh, that light is everything. That light is nice. I'm just saying that I want to do something different. I mean, I've been trying to do it my way for 40. Well, I ain't been dating for 42 years. When did I start? I started young because I had my oldest daughter at 17. So about 14. And I've been doing it my way and saying, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to date this person or whatever. And it's only been one race that I looked at. So I want to be more open-minded, like I said before, to whatever God has for me, and he could be any color. Just long as he loves me, respects me, and honors me and my child and my children and my grandson, I don't have a problem with him being another race. We're gonna fight through it. We're gonna work through it. If he say my food is too salty because he white, stereotype. Then I'm gonna take a little salt off of his. If he say that he look at me and I gain 10 pounds, he go, I'm too thick, the brothers will like it. Stereotype. I'm gonna see what I can do, but only if only if I feel that way. Like if I feel like I gained weight and he said it, I would hope he never said it. But I'm going to date outside my race. I'm going to date outside my race and be more open-minded because I've done it my way for a long time. And here I am still single, 2 baby daddies, which I never wanted. Love my children. But and 2 exes that ain't about so I'm gonna do it a little different this time. I'm gonna do it God's way. Yes, One Pretty Doll, just like Olivia. Ain't nobody talking about no Olivia, Mrs. Hicks. Ain't nobody asked you to bring Olivia on here. We was talking about Ashanti and Keisha Cole. Stay to the topic. Now we done already sidebarred. We done went into here off the topic of interracial dating. Do they smell funny? Stereotype. Oh, stereotype. Do they smell funny? Yeah, that's another stereotype. Oh my God. And again, I'm gonna talk about my grandfather, my grandmother, and my grandfather. Honey, my grandmother, my grandfather be like, they smell like wet dogs. Oh, white people, they stink. And that was always a joke in my house. And it was just funny. Like they smell funny. I don't know where they got that from. I don't know where none of that come from. But like I said, I'm banking on and I'm knowing from their trauma that and the things that they went through and the times they were born, 1927 and 1939, that they wasn't with the shits. So it was no such thing as interracial dating. But like I said, my uncle did it and brought in all my cousins. And I guess, and I can only imagine what my nana, my great grandmother, said to him and how it went down. But he did it his way. He married a white woman, my Aunt Kelly, rest in peace, love her to death. And he made a whole bunch of, and my Uncle Sonny made a whole bunch of mixed babies. And here we are, the Booker clan, and we deep and we love each other, and it's no different. So I feel like I should open up my heart and my mind to other things. And I mean, some of my friends on here are agreeing with me. Some of my friends on here are not agreeing with me, saying that that's not what they want and that's not what they're going to do. And their kids might not do it and better not do it. And to each his own. I just feel like I want to protect my children, and I want to, like, the world is cold out there. I keep it 100% real with my children because the world is cold. And if I don't give it to them raw, ain't nobody out there going to sugarcoat it. So when they go out there and they decide that they're going to be gay, or if they decide they're going to date a white man or Indian man or Arab man or a Mexican man or whatever it is, ain't nobody out there going to be nice to them. It's going to be head stares. It's going to be some things said. It's going to be rudeness at restaurants. And I want to be their shelter. I want to be their go-to to make sure that they're okay outside of my house. Well, inside my house, because outside in the world is cruel. And I don't want to be that. That's why I wanted to have this conversation about interracial dating. And I wanted to break down these stereotypes that we may have heard in our house, and I wanted to break down these traumas that we may have experienced through our parents and our grandparents because they were born in a time where interracial dating was not a norm. It wasn't talked about, it wasn't discussed. And you better not bring no white man in my house, and you better not bring no Indian in my house, and you better not bring no Asian in my house. You better bring a black man, and I don't even want you to bring a man. Go sit down. So I just wanted to discuss that tonight. Have you ever dated outside your race? Meet Mika Fresh. Yes, I have. No, I haven't dated. Eh, well, we were seeing each other about a month. This white man, in 2019, and all his friends were black, and he grew up in Patterson, which is a majority is black. And I guess he identified more to black men, because to the black race, because all his friends were black. And we were seeing each other, and we meshed and we connect, and it was ha 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 on the phone, and we dated and we laughed. And about a month and a half into it, we had sex. And he said he never had sex with a black woman. He dated black women in high school. They kissed, they fondled, they caressed, but he never had sex with them. And then once we had sex, he went ghost on me. So I don't know if I was the trophy. I don't know what I tried. Let's just say I tried, and it didn't work out the way I wanted it to work out, because I really like this guy. Have you ever oh, I gotta be loud because I'm actually recording on YouTube as well. Meet Mika Fresh says, have you ever dated outside your preference within yourself race? Is that not the same question that you just asked? Or tell me what I'm missing with that. Have you ever dated outside of your preference within your self race? Oh, yes, I have. My last boyfriend I dated outside my race. He ain't the prettiest. And I'm into a nice looking guy, but I fell in love with him from the door. I ain't gonna go into that story. We're going to that story another time, but I fell in love from the first time I laid eyes on him when we met in person, because he did something. We ain't gonna talk about that now. And it was just like he made me feel safe. He made me feel loved and wanted. And I'm about looks, and he's not a looker, but now I look at him and he looks so good to me because I'm in love. I love him. Great topic. Oh, thanks, Steph. Thanks. So your preference type. My preference type is a dark skinned guy, tall. I actually like skinny men. I'm really not into muscles or whatever. So for the most part, every man that I've been with has been little, short, and skinny. Besides my daughter father. He has muscles, boom, boom, bam. But for the most part, they've been little. Like maybe 5'8", 5'9", 5'10", and they were little in stature. For those who know, my daughter father, Lee, is tiny as can be. Brooklyn, if you ever met him, tiny as can be. Queens is tiny. Like, they're little men, but they do something for me. Okay, figured it out. Typo. Okay. So yeah, guys, I just wanted to bring this topic up tonight because I just think it's so much that goes with this topic. It's so layered and it's so taboo still to this day. And we're experiencing some of the same stuff, but even worse that our ancestors and our parents and our grandparents dealt with. Like racism is real out here. So I wanted, sit down. As Mrs. Hicks said, she's laughing at sit down somewhere. Have you ever? Yeah, because that's how I felt. Like go sit down somewhere. Okay, you figured it out. Type of. So I wanted to just address this and talk about it because it's still to this day it's taboo. And I just want my children to know that no matter what they choose, whether they're gay, whether they choose someone outside their race, I just want to be, shelter for them, a place where they can actually go. Y'all know when I ring this bell, what it is. A place they can actually go and feel safe. And that's home. That's with mom because they didn't ask to be here. And I don't want it to be uncomfortable with them. And I didn't have that. I didn't have those options growing up. It was like, don't you dare bring no white man in here. Crackers. That's how they used to talk. So I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to talk about it and get your opinion. So if we don't have anything else to talk about, it's time for us to get started and going over to verses and get up with this Keisha Cole. If y'all want to share something before I close out, y'all are more than welcome to share. We have a few minutes left. The hour went by real quick, and we're gonna get ready. Hi shops. Hey cousin. I don't know who cousin is. Tell me who you are. Um, we're about to wrap up. I'm sorry. It's an hour show. We're getting ready for Keisha Cole and we're getting ready for Ashanti. I love y'all. Hi, Shauna B21. We're actually wrapping up. Hi, baby doll. Hey, cousin. We're wrapping up. I'm wrapping up. It's less than a minute. I love y'all. Kicking it with Kay. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for supporting. We're wrapping up. I'll be back next Thursday at 7 o'clock. Love you guys. Love you too. J. Cole. Miss y'all.